Welcome, viewers. This is Janiser Ahmed saying, welcome to you to my talk show, Fair and Balanced, with Mr. Noor Tofadar. I'm very grateful to him that he is here. He has joined me in the studio. Thank you, Mr. Noor, for joining me. Uh, we have a lot going on in the news. There's been uh, the NRA debate. It has taken a new turn. I mean, a turn for the worse for so far as the far right and the gun lobbyists are concerned, because probably this is the first time that we are going to see some kind of strict measures going to be enforced against the gun lobby, and so as to place some kind of restriction.
Thank you, viewers. Fair and Balanced, Millennium TV. It's a great show. Number one, Honorable Excellency President Donald Trump. He is the some kind of board member, his family
Mm-hmm.
of NRA. I told you first time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, and he has some obligations because of that.
of course,
Yeah.
and he knows the all games. If his time
Mm.
he not gonna do anything for people's, our children, our brother, our kids, our school student, who gonna do it?
Mm.
Now, probably very soon, Congress and Senate, they're gonna make some kind of law, and he gonna sign it. And NRA not gonna say anything. So we gonna see something.
So he recently stated that there comes a time when you have to pick up a fight with the NRA.
Listen, if if
Like he said, he will fight with the NRA.
listen, NRA is not going to fight with the president. If president make the law, NRA doing the business with United States, NRA is not going to fight with the Congress, Senate, with president of United States.
You're talking about Congress. President stated that he is in favor of very strict laws, but he stated that he doesn't think that the Congress would, approve those stricter gun laws, because of the fact that and I know that many of the legislators, they happen to have they happen to be NRA beneficiaries.
NRA beneficiary, Democrat, Republican, Independent, everyone. So everyone get money from the NRA. But everyone's children going to college, university, they have to do something. So they're going to do at this time something. If president say, but NRA selling the arms to who? US government. US Army, Navy, Air Force. If they play with the US government, who going to buy their goods? US government not going to buy their goods. Of course, they not going to be play with the Congress, Senate, and President. Of course, there have to be some kind of normalize.
But okay, let's compare it with the situation in Australia. Australia, there was a gun massacre in 1996. But what did the government do at the time? They initiated a buyback program whereby they spent like many $1 million and bought back as many guns as they could. And after that, there has been no incident of gun violence in Australia ever since. No mass shooting in Australia. Do you think that is the right approach to follow in the US? Because
Exactly.
even if you have gun reforms,
I don't know. Sorry to interrupt you. I don't know. They don't have any kind of this. Our NRA is not there over there.
NRA that what I'm saying is that there has been no shooting since 1996 after they bought the guns back.
They
Not
did.
even, not to talk about reforms, they took the guns back. They bought the guns back and
They
destroyed the
did
guns.
great job for their kids, their children.
Can the same happen in the U.S.?
I don't think so. Reason, the NRA is going to be selling uh, after 21 years old young man.
So what if they raise the age for buying a gun to, let's say, 21 or even more, but the child, he finds the gun on the sitting on a shelf, and he picks that up, puts it in the backpack, and blah blah blah.
If some, listen, mentally ill, some way someone, they're going to found their way
If
to,
they have the intent to
ex-
do harm, they can
exactly,
still find the weapon if they want to do it.
exactly.
So the raising the age is just like like a whitewash kind of a thing. Actually, the real problem is not going to vanish.
Real problem, the mentally ill, we need a counseling. We need a mentally ill hospital. We don't have it. We used to have, but our city government, state government, they close everything. Reason, our federal government say we don't have a money. We don't have a fund. That's why so many hospital last few years, last 20 years, at least 1,000 hospital they close. New York City, hundreds of hospital they close. So, what place our brother and sister they're going to go for counseling? We need those kind of help. If government still they can do some kind of way, probably is going to help for all community.
But what about the prevailing anger? The children have been on the streets. The parents have been on the streets. A few days back, there was a very like a kind of a testy exchange between a father and whose daughter was shot in the incident, and Marco Rubio, who was staying over there, and he was trying to stay put. He was trying to come up with the old arguments and again and again.
I
But the
know.
father was trying to tell her, "Sir, I've lost my daughter."
Also,
And
he is on the White House too.
yeah, and I've lost my daughter, and what are you going to do? And he was producing like a rehash of the old arguments, Mr. Rubio, that he had been saying in the wake of the attack initially. Like he was that was purely a rehash, and he was even confronted by a student who asked him, "Sir, are you going to stop taking NRA money or not?"
The student asking very wonderful question, but Rubio cannot answer it. And
Why? Why?
He is guilty.
Mm.
That's why. Of course, he take money over over 30 millions bucks time to time. That's why exactly we need a counseling. Our children need a mentally ill people's brother and sister. They need a counseling. We need a community hospital. If
But do you think that this is going to solve the whole problem?
no, it's not going to be solve the problem. They have to have so many avenues, so many roads.
Like what you are trying to say, I mean, the logic is that if you, I mean, this is good. This is something it needs to have. It's a very serious problem. But if you have, if you rely on this argument, this means that mentally health institutions is going to take care of every mentally sick person in the whole wide universe, in the whole across all states in the universe.
Yeah.
What about the people who do not enroll in the mental health programs, and then they happen to have their hands on a gun and then carry out a massacre?
They have a lot
I mean,
of
it's insane to believe that a mental health program can look after each and every one?
If they are not registered, if no one is registered, you are right. Uh, exactly, city, state, federal cannot help. If we not contract with the government, we need help from the city. Anyway, federal government have to be help state, city. President Donald Trump, he is try to help us at this time. He don't care whatever the NRA.
Do you think the president can have like a political fallout if he continues to toe NRA's line?
No,
No fallout for
no,
the president.
no.
What do you mean?
You gonna see his number going up.
Really?
Yeah,
Even if he is
you gonna
favoring the NRA.
exactly. You gonna see his number going up.
So you mean to say that the shooting and the people who hold him responsible for not doing enough on the legislation front, they will not have any say in the election. They will not be able. Their votes will not count. Or what you mean to say is that not many people will come up registering their protest on the ballot box.
Janiser, he's try to make the job for you and me. I try to work for you guys. And you guys have to be work for me.
But
So-
there are certain obligations that I have to follow, and you
Exactly.
also have to follow. If you do not
Exactly.
follow, then I do not follow, and so it cuts both ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So President, he try every avenue, every way. He invite community leader. He invite governors. He invite student. He hear from everyone. So now he gonna make the decision what he gonna do.
So he also had a meeting with the governors of all the states.
Yeah.
Majority of them were there, and one of the governors, he was he addressed the president, saying that President, you've been telling us that you will initiate a program whereby you'll arm the teachers. The teachers will carry guns to the school, and they'll have the guns strapped at their waist, and this is going to work out somehow. But the governor stated that he had talked to the teachers, and teachers are dead against it because they say that educators are meant to educate. They are not going to brandish guns teaching to first graders or teaching at a junior school while they have the guns strapped to their waist. And they dismiss this idea. They don't like this idea. They don't want to carry guns to the campus.
So what is the president say?
President, he was like, he was all ears. He was listening because at that time, like it's a
State of Colorado and some other state also, they have this kind of law, and they carry on. High school teacher, middle school teacher, they carry on the gun. Right now, they don't. They
what are the states?
state of Colorado.
They have been no. Okay. I mean, it can deter a potentially evil person from carrying out a massacre by the fear that if he or she does anything wrong, there will be retaliation. That if I'm gonna take this gun to the school, the teacher will come back at me, and they will also have the guns, and I can face some kind of retaliatory action. So that fear can deter an evil person from. I mean, it certainly can.
Janiser, school teacher, they are like father and mother. Father, mother, they are taking care the children. Teacher, they are give them education. They knows how is these kids, these children. So they knows this guy how is mentally ill, or this guy educated. Is the getting high?
I think you are getting this in the wrong direction, because the parents of Nikolas Cruz, those who adopted him, they knew that he was mentally disturbed and that he was carrying out like gun firing in the backyard, and that there was some kind of problem with his thought process, like he was mentally not well, not fit, but he had guns, and they did not do anything. They did not take him to a doctor or a psychologist.
So probably they have a mental problem too.
No, no, they were all right. They were perfectly all right. This is you saying that they had some problem, but they were perfectly all right. Now the neighbors were saying that they saw Nicholas Cruz carrying out like practice in the backyard, and then one of the tipster, they called the feds, and the feds did not do enough. So who's to be held accountable? Now what the NRA is saying, he's putting the blame on the feds. They're saying that this is a law and order problem because the feds did not do their job, and it was a result of that dereliction of duty that this occurred. Had the feds done their job, carried the boy away for investigation, this might not have occurred. I mean, this is the far right media saying. What do you say to that?
Fed is not doing their job. Number one. Number two, local community police, they are not doing their job also. Community police, they visit few times his house. They do not do their right job, right time, right job.
Mm-hmm.
If they do,
Mm.
they visit, they just come, walk around and
Mhm.
come back.
Mhm. But he had 9 guns. I mean, for heaven's sake, this is
You know,
outrageous.
anyway, we like to see our president. This is the time you're gonna do something for us.
I mean, it's not a question of mass shooting. It's a question of massacres being carried out across schools. I mean, young kids.
Since 96. These things start since
Yeah.
96.
Okay, I'll have running short of time. I'll take a short break. Viewers, we'll be taking a short break. Hope you're enjoying the conversation. We'll be back in a while. Welcome back to the show, viewers. We are in the middle of a very heated conversation with Mr. Noor Tofadar. We were talking about gun reforms and what is it that the White House and President Trump they're going to do in near future in order to prevent further mass shooting incidents from happening. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Noor. So we hope that something happens and something turns out well for the entire uh, situation. But moving on, Ivanka Trump's been to the Korean Peninsula as a way to counter the Rocket Man's sister.
She is the president daughter, also advisor, White House advisor, and she is doing great job. First time when she get into the White House, she visit German. You know that she did big conference.
Yeah, she's very active. There's no
German
doubt about it,
chancellor.
yeah.
Right now, she is in Winter Olympics in South Korea, and the, over there she gonna visit lot of leader, Right now, or there also Chinese vice president, also some other world leader. Probably they're going to do good job for United States, also South Korea, and good job for North Korea. Open their door. This Winter Games is very good for North Korea. What do you think?
I mean, that definitely they have been able to like portray a very positive image of the country through the sister Kim Jong Un's younger sister. Is that the case or not?
Exactly, they try to do something, but they can't. Right now, Chinese government stop everything. Whatever they like to supply, they stop everything. Now, Russian government supply. Our president saying right now Russian government supply, but Russian government have to be stop everything. So how North Korea going to be survive? That's why North Korea try to come on the table.
So that means that President Trump has been like previously he keeps saying that he is a very good negotiator and he knows how to put pressure in order to coerce the rival into giving up their stance and so that turns out to be true.
Of course, he knows how to make the money and he knows how to build the road. Whatever happened in Mexican president over the phone, President Donald Trump, he welcome
Yeah, it's a
he welcome all over the world leader. They
yeah.
coming White House. They respect
Mm,
our White House,
mm,
United
mm,
States, President of Mexico.
mm,
He upset. He mad. Whatever he did, he gonna become White House, and he gonna be respect our president, and he gonna be pay some kind of some part of fund for the wall is not going to be free
why should he be paying for the wall?
for his security. Is
He has his own security. Why
you don't have any security.
now he's saying that this is your wall. Why should I be paying for the wall?
Is this is your security too?
He's all right with that. I mean, there's 25, 30,000 people died in Mexico. He's all right with that. He's saying like no one cares.
If he say all right, is not all right. World community, and if you're going to say as a justice, world community have if say is all right, President Donald Trump going to be say all right, but only Mexican president say all right. No,
But what do you say? Like it's not a small. I mean, it's not $20. It's 20 billion US dollars.
yeah.
Can the Mexican economy foot the bill?
Mexican economy is not going to put the effort, but some part, some portion, have to, probably they have to some
Okay,
way.
they're saying that they do not have enough for
Listen,
like for running the affairs of their country. And
they have a lot of way to make the money. United States, they can make so many way, you know. Probably some way, some part they're gonna add the tax. They can make the money.
tax gonna fall on the U.S. taxpayer.
No, Mexican probably
If the products coming into the United States or going out, they are levied some kind of a surcharge or a tax. It's the customer who has to pay, and the customers primarily are in the like in the US. That's they are the people who gonna afford the extra bill.
not government.
Government also might have to foot the bill.
Government to government, probably government have to be sit down, how to get the money. So probably if Mexican pay like 8 billion or 5 billion,
That's totally ridiculous. That's I mean, it appears that there has to be some kind of a mechanism.
yeah,
Like President Trump previously stated that, for instance, on all the wire transfers, money transfers to the Mexico,
yeah,
the expatriates sending the money, he there can be certain tax on that money, and you can raise the funds from that, and there's a huge amount of money going to Mexico through by the expatriates, through wire transfers and money transfers, and if every transaction you place a certain surcharge or a duty or a tax duty, something like that, call it the border tax or something like that, the wall fund, you can not eventually, very easily and very quickly raise the funds for the wall.
probably our United States government, they charge some kind of travel tax when you buy the ticket, airlines ticket, for the World Trade Center since after 9/11. Every year they can make like this kind of 10 World Trade Center. Where is the money goes? Okay. Anyway,
Let's move to Bangladesh situation. It's becoming very like very heated between Awami League and the BNP. And recently, the Sina Wajid stated that she doesn't. No one cares if BNP decides to run for the elections or not. We don't care. No one cares. What's going on? What's the rivalry about?
exactly world community looking for what is going on in Bangladesh last 9 years, 10 years. And Bangladeshi people also watching what is current government doing. 50% people is government way and 50% or 60% is other BNP or other parties. If Prime Minister, current Prime Minister and present party, they don't want to bring the other parties at a time, is not a democracy. Democracy is everyone one table, everyone is coming to election. Right now, BNP leader, ex 3 times Prime Minister, she is jail. Some kind of legal things. This is bad. This is bad for our nation. This is bad for our current government too. She make the rule. Anyway, if government give the election, if BNP say we are not doing the election, they are going to lose. Reason? Last time 2014, they did mistake. They don't did the election with the Awami League. You know, they did big mistake. If they did right now again, they're going to be mistake. People, new generation, they're going to be forget. If you are away from the 10 years, people's going to be forget you. So you have to be front of general people. So general people going to be knows you.
All right. Thank you, viewers, for watching the show. We are very thankful to you for tuning into our show and watching and listening to our conversation. It's at times it's testy and heated, but that's the spirit of the show because we want to bring to you the spirit of what a living room conversation can be. Thank you very much for watching. This is Janiser Ahmed signing off from Fair and Balanced with Mr. Noor Tofadar. Until the next show, goodbye.